All right, guys, welcome back to the Independent Investor Channel. In this video, I plan on dropping you into the Thrift Savings Plan platform and walking you through and introducing you to the aesthetics on the Thrift Savings Plan, showing you where I'm allocated within the Thrift Savings Plan. This is the first time I've ever done this over the channel. So for you guys that are government employees, military members, you will specifically benefit from this video. If you've never heard of the Thrift Savings Plan before, stick around. You're going to find a lot of benefit in this. I'm always amazed at how many people in the military don't even know about the TSP, or people that are aware of it and don't contribute to it, don't participate in it. And hopefully this provides some transparency on how someone like myself is participating in the TSP, and I'm just going to actually show you how I'm allocated, what I'm allocated in with regard to the traditional TSP or the Roth TSP, and I think you guys are going to find a ton of value in actually seeing how somebody actually deploys their own strategy, and hopefully you can take some of those lessons and put them to work for yourself, because I think the TSP is really one of the best opportunities for folks to gain exposure to the stock market, even if you're not really that interested in investing, but do in fact understand the importance of investing. The TSP can be a great outlet for a lot of you guys. And if you're a new person looking to join military service, a guy or gal out there that's looking to join, this is really one of those incentive benefits across a number of different benefits that you can have access to for opting into military service. So with that said, I'm going to push you guys into the Thrift Savings Plan platform. Please enjoy. All right, good stuff. So, it's amazing how long I've been doing the Independent Investor Channel, and I've never provided this level of insight to the Thrift Savings Plan. For you guys that do not have a thrift, you're welcome to stay and peruse over what a government pension plan looks like. This is the Thrift Savings Plan homepage, and I'm just going to briefly go over some of the things that I look at, provide some transparency on not only what the Thrift Savings Plan account looks like. For a lot of you guys, you may not even be aware that the Thrift Savings Plan is available. I know this because I speak with military members all the time, and this is one of the very first questions I always ask. Are they part of the Thrift Savings Plan? And it's amazing, about 1 in every 2 people tell me no. I don't really understand why that is. I will declare to you guys my strategic goal for this account when I started it was to obtain $100,000 of tax-protected money by the time I retire. Very specific, very reasonable, very achievable goal. So I'm going to run through just how my accounts are broken down. I know a lot of you guys that actually have the TSP will probably benefit from these, as I speak with a lot of other TSP owners that have their allocation in different places. That's totally fine. It's amazing how many different combinations you can make in the TSP for a platform that only offers 5 individual funds, and then a life cycle option, which is here, which you guys can see I do not participate in. You can see the bulk of my money is down here in the individual funds in an allocation that I choose. So basically this is the self-directed portion of the TSP, and this is the professionally managed section of the TSP. Very simple to understand, guys. Very, very intriguing for folks if they want nothing to do with investing but do understand the importance of investing. They can certainly put their money in here in respect to the target date where they would actually need to withdraw those funds. They're notated here. So if you didn't need your money until 2015, now this retirement date sometimes gets misconstrued, and a lot of people think that that's when they actually would be withdrawing. It's actually when you would actually need the money, is when you would figure what life cycle fund would be appropriate for you. But 34 cents for every $1,000 invested in the life cycle fund. It is absolutely, if not the only, managed account that I would ever recommend because it is such a low expense. Tax loss harvesting in this, as well as portfolio rebalancing, and BlackRock handles all that for military employees, both civilian and active duty and reserve components of our military services. So if you're eligible to do this, I highly recommend that you do. But for those folks that are actually part of this, you may actually benefit from understanding how it is that I break down my funds. This is one of the most common questions that I get. I've just recently changed this allocation a little bit here. First of all, I'll go over the contribution allocation, okay? Very simple here to understand. 5% and 5% are both going up here to the fixed income products that they have, whether it be the G fund or the F fund. I wanted to start to build a little bit of share base in here, and I've done that. This is a little less than our target allocation. This is about double our target allocation here in the G fund. So only 5% to the contributed amount. What that means is when I contribute every 2 weeks to this, only 5% of those dollars, just a few dollars, will go in here to the F fund and the G fund respectively, okay? But hey, we're building wealth, and we're building wealth across a lot of different opportunities. And I just look at this government securities fund as being guaranteed money, okay? This is very, very safe investing. Unfortunately, for a lot of legacy TSP owners, they've found that this was the default fund for many, many years. Very unfortunate, because a lot of people didn't go into this account and opt into any one of these 3 stock accounts here on the bottom, and their money just continued to default to the G fund, and they were unknowingly just contributing to fixed income. Which is really unfortunate. But you can see how I've dropped this down. 65% of my dollars go into the C fund. I talk about this all the time. This is really the flagship fund for the TSP. It is, in my opinion, the best fund. And it represents the S&P 500, large and medium capitalization companies. The C fund does a good job. You guys can check the year-over-year performance on the C fund, but I'll just tell you it runs at about 10% a year since it's been incepted back in 1988. So really good, well-established fund, does quite well. I've got about 60% of my real dollars in there, and then 65% of the contributions go into the C fund, so a vast majority of them. And then as we work down here, 15% of the contribution and 15% of the portfolio is made up in the small cap index. And then finally the I fund here, which is the International Stock Fund Index. Shares here, not quite so important for these purposes, but certainly you can, you're welcome to look at the dollar amounts here. Again, I've never done this on the channel before. I'm not really sure why, but I'm able to do that because the way they have this page laid out is actually conducive to this type of display. So I can actually do that and still protect my my privacy. But total $28,335. I do want you to kind of pay attention to a couple things here worth noting. This is actually really interesting. Right here, this is what you need to pay attention to. I started this in 2011, and 2011 is where the Roth TSP came into play. And I actually started this a couple months before this Roth TSP option came out. So that's where these few dollars of traditional contribution came from, because I was under the impression that I could take these and roll these over to this. That is not correct. They keep these separate for good reason. So this right here is indicative of something that's been started since 2011. This is where this TSP started. So in 8 years, we've been able to accumulate, good grief, almost $28,000 of tax-protected money here, eligible for withdrawal at 59.5, and then just a few $100 here. Not that big of a deal, but that's what happened there. So 8 years I've had the TSP, and we're 30% toward our goal. My goal for this account, again, very, very simple, to just have another slush fund of 100 grand or more. If I end up having more in the account, which I'm on track to do, then great, I'll have surpassed my goal. But at least it gives me something to strive toward as we march toward that $100,000 goal for this account. So account distribution, this is really the nuts and bolts of what a lot of people ask for. There you go. There really is no two TSP accounts the same unless you do the life cycle funds, because those will adjust exactly the same across the board no matter what. But if you're custom allocating this is locked in how you want those contributions to always be allocated. So I'm always going to be looking at 60% in the C fund, 5% in the F fund. This will continue to adjust a little bit, but right now 10% in the G fund, 10% in the I fund, and finally rounds out the account distribution at 15% in the S fund. So just to kind of give you guys an idea, for those of you who own the TSP, you know exactly what I'm talking about here, and it may be of specific interest to a lot of you guys how I'm actually cutting up the contribution to this every 2 weeks as the dollars flow into this account and into these respective funds. So with that said, guys, I'm going to kick you back to YouTube. Thank you so much for this review of the Thrift Savings Plan. Thank you. All right, guys, welcome back out of Thrift Savings Plan. I hope you enjoyed that small tutorial, just a 10-minute lesson on how it is that I participate in the Thrift Savings Plan. I know there will be a lot of value provided for a lot of folks out there that have questions about the Thrift Savings Plan. They want to kind of understand what the platform looks like, how somebody can actually utilize the self-directed portion through the 5 funds that are offered through the Thrift Savings Plan, and then also a slight introduction to the life cycle program that they've got through the Thrift Savings Plan for you folks that want to have a professionally managed account. A lot of people don't understand that those options are right there in the Thrift Savings Plan, and I don't think there's a better managed account that's offered on the market than what's offered through the Thrift Savings Plan. So guys, if you have additional comments, please leave them in the comments below. There will be a ton of people that inquire on this topic that will benefit from the thread left in the comments section. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy the content, please don't hesitate to support us. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, share with anybody out there that you know may benefit from this information. Very rarely do people provide this much transparency just with the sheer intent of helping people, and that's definitely in line with my goals. So please don't hesitate to share the information with anybody out there that you know can benefit from it. Guys, and with that said, good luck in your investment future.